about so much and so well known, and well, hell, people are getting attacked just for wearing a red hat that doesn't even say "Make America Great Again" on it.
Just a regular red snapback, yeah, that's true, cause people to become upset or really excited. What say the rest of you all?
What was the
really different? Because obviously, all the other presidential candidates, theirs is just like, you know, their names with a year slapped on it. But with the slogan "Make America Great Again," it's just like, I don't know. There's something about it.
Just, yeah, a slogan does work. And because I'm trying to remember what was Clinton's in 2016. Oh, I'm with her. Yeah, it's not as cool, not as sexy as "Make America Great Again." I'm with her or "Make America Great Again." I want to make America great again, of course. So let's see. We've made it to the end. Hip hip huzzah. Let's see, the future of news media. This is just Iyengar chapter 11. And then from the Oxford Handbook of Political Psychology, the chapter on political communication by Valentino and Nardis. And so like the whole purpose of the chapter from the handbook is just to serve as like an intellectual capstone for all the course materials throughout the semester. And it also, for those of you that are thinking about grad school, if you are, talk to me. It just provides a grad school level review of all the literature we've talked about. And so if you read it, a lot of the information Valentino and Nardis discussed should sound very familiar to you. So before, of course, still all the media in the world, but I just wanted to ask you all, what do you think the news reporting will look like in a year? So in 2021, in 2025, or in, oh my God, 2030? What do you all think it'll look like? Will journalists still enjoy relative freedom? Are we going to still consume the news media? What do you think is going to happen?
I think there's going to be some consolidation of news media just because I don't see people trusting it any more than they do now in the next few years. So I just see more and more newspapers shutting down, everything moving to online, a lot of misinformation, mistrust still.
So we have one for increase in mistrust and consolidation of sources. Do you think that's going to happen within a year or within 5 years or 10 years?
Not a year. It'll take longer than that, definitely.
So somewhere between 5 and 10 years. The rest of you?
I mean, I think it depends what happens in November. You know, if Trump gets reelected, I think that the future of media freedom might be in peril, depending, you know. There's also, like, there's the possibility of another Supreme Court justice being nominated that could really shake things up. So I think it all depends on November.
So the future of the media depends on November. Wow. That's interesting. Does anyone? Go ahead.
I also think it depends on just how all this stuff with the coronavirus ends up, you know, being, because already like so much is going to change because of this, you know. I really don't think, you know, like in business, people will be shaking hands or any of that. It's going to become more, not, I don't know what the word is, but I don't know. I feel like especially with this whole second wave that's going to happen, stuff's definitely going to change.
Yeah, we will no longer shake people's hands. Okay. Not like I really shook people's hands in the first place. So there's that. I want to say it happened over the weekend, but there was like this weird televised event. I think it was called like Staying Home Together. That was supposed to be like a unifying thingy for all of us that are stuck at home. And it was like, I only read comments about it. They said it was like weird and awkward. And it was like sponsored by the World Health Organization. And I was just like, all right. But they're trying to promote that as the new normal. So I have a couple of videos. One, because I thought I did show it but didn't, talking about what the future of the local news media, as well as what this means for like streaming media as a whole. Because it could just be that the future of the news media will not take place on TV sets. It's on the interwebs. So let's see. Back here. Nah. Y'all can see the slideshow, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, should we be afraid of deep fakes? So, like, that's the Jordan Peele software thing. That's called deep fakes. Should we be concerned about those? Or what are like the statistical chances of that actually happening?
I mean, I did see the one of the Constitution getting ripped up come across my social media feed.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Were people in an uproar?
Yeah.
And you really couldn't tell that it was fake either. That's like the eerie part.
The thing about that one is that it's totally something that seems like it could have actually been real.
And so I don't know. Part of me wonders, like, is it, even if you check your sources, would it still be, just finding out it came from CNN as opposed to someone's Tumblr feed? Will that be enough of a distinction? I was trying to see, was there anything else? Oh yeah, we didn't. So have we reached confirmation? Is Kim Jong-un still alive, or we're just?
He's sick.
Is he? I've read reports that says he is brain dead.
I did not see that.
It was originally
He may pretend to be.
Why would he pretend to be?
No, he may potentially.
He may potentially be brain dead. Okay. The weird, no, not the weird part. That's weird. We may never know what actually happened. And part of me is like, what does this mean for the future of like foreign policy news? I'm like, well, it means I guess we won't be going to war with North Korea. I think that's good. Hip hip hooray.
Wouldn't his sister be like the next in line, even though that would be like highly contested?
He did kill all his uncles and stuff, like who he perceived to be rivals. I don't know.
His son would be.
He has a kid? Well, good for him.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's a dictatorship, not really a monarchy. So like I don't know how succession works in a dictatorship. It's maybe a coup happens, but like is the kid like a kid?
However the hell they wanted to.
Basically, that's the answer. The dictatorships do whatever the hell they want to do. Like there's no protocol for that. And I mean, and if you don't have to rely on me, I'm an Americanist, so yes, definitely take classes with Franklin, Choi, and Sean Kay. Like they will be the ones to let you know how that works elsewhere. It's like Dr. Mack is like, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a coup, maybe the party elects them. Like, yeah, I don't have my camera on, but I'm using air quotes for elect.
I took Franklin's Democracy, Dictatorship, and Political Change class last semester. We talked about North Korea a little bit, and from what I understood, it seems like if Kim Jong-un dies, the way it's set up in North Korea is that it is a dictatorship, but it's got like roots of monarchy, so like he inherited the dictatorship from his dad, from his grandfather.
Yeah.
So it would stay within the family is the basic understanding.
And if the child in question, because I didn't know he had a kid, I'm going to presume that kid is not of legal age, whatever, even if we say legal age in North Korea was 15, I'm almost certain he's not 15. And his sister has been acting as his proxy in a couple situations. The last one being the Winter Olympics that were in Korea, not Korea. Where were they? Where were those Olympics? They were in South Korea. Yeah, that perhaps maybe she would be the one that would act at least as the like symbolic figurehead. Who knows? It's not my monkey and not my circus. So, Anyways, I forgot to share announcements. So Tuesday's last day of class, we're going to do a final exam review, similar to what we did before the midterm. It will cover everything since the midterm. So in particular, paying strong attention to media and campaign effects, media and public opinion, basically everything from all those darn videos. So yeah, there'll be questions on like socialization, catalytic events, all that great stuff. After today, I think I'll have all of the videos for all the lectures we've had since the midterm. So in theory, it would not be that hard to prep for the final exam, as long as you're keeping up with the readings. As I stated before, if you're just passively going along, you're getting only part of the experience. Anyways, the final exam will go live next Thursday, and it'll be due Sunday before midnight. So Sunday, 11:59 p.m. It's going to be 10 short essay questions, each one worth 10 points. And then, of course, similar to the midterm, they'll be curved depending upon everyone's performance. Absolutely no use of outside sources, only assigned readings and lecture materials. And of course, this will go live on Blackboard.
Is there a time limit when we open it?
It'll be similar to what was for the midterm. So I think I made the window a 12-hour window. I may not even put a time limit on it. I feel like there's no point in that now, especially since there are essay questions and we all write at various speeds. So
is it cumulative?
No. It's everything since the midterm. So basically everything that will be on YouTube. So all the information that we've talked about, all the information we talked about in class, as well as you were supposed to read. So I don't get cumulative. So as I stated before, we made it to the end of the road. I forgot to include my boys and men, end of the road. Still, I can't let go. Anyways, so of course, recall at the beginning of the semester, we talked about exactly what was media politics as well as political communication. So we know media politics is just the system of politics in which people seek office and conduct political matters by mobilizing the public, as well as their attention through the mass media. And we also know that political communication is that whole complex activity in which language and symbols employed by the people, leaders, media, and citizens and groups exert a multitude of effects on society and people, as well as on the outcomes that bear on public policy as a whole. We also talked about the 5 models of newsmaking, as well as why local news media is important. And in light of that Sinclair Broadcasting clip, even more so important. We talked about the differences between priming and framing, as well as agenda setting. We talked about selective exposure, media bias, and the role of partisan media. We talked about muckraking. We did not talk about the models of muckraking, but we talked about muckraking as a whole. It's the type of journalism intent that shines a light on corruption taking place within the government in hopes of said ill being resolved, and all those people that are involved in it removed from office. Let's see. We did talk about briefly at the beginning of the semester treatment of foreign news domestically and abroad. That's referring to the fact that Americans know very, very little about foreign developments, but know a lot more about what's happening domestically. Meanwhile, for foreign people, so for international audiences, they know in equal levels just as much about American developments and developments happening elsewhere in the world in similar numbers to what they know is also going on within their own backyards. And then we spent the last 2 or 3 sections talking about the importance of the media in campaigns and all those cool ads we watched and talked about. So, what are the big takeaways from this course? We can just summarize it all up. Well, we know that media is necessary. It's a necessary evil. It's a double-edged sword. We know that media is biased and it can be political. It is political. We also know that the media is the primary way we go about learning what's going on in our world. We know that. We also know that American media politics has 2 shortcomings. The first one, we don't have a forum to talk about policy issues and see direct electoral results from it. So there's no place to talk about the issues, and then as a result of said place, as a result of said forum, see direct change as a result of it. We also see the substitution of journalists and analysts for the political candidates as the primary voices in the news. So no longer relying on journalists and professionals to give us the primary voices, to give us the information. Instead, we rely on the political figures, the candidates themselves. But are these really problems, though? Is it a big deal that we don't have a forum? Does it matter that we don't get our news from Robin Roberts? We get it from the horse's mouth itself? Does that matter? I would argue it really doesn't matter. The news is still happening. What say y'all? Let's see. Well, y'all marinate on it. So, we learned about a lot in this class. We know things are sketch. We know that the media is biased and we know it's political. We know that the news media is incomplete. So what can we do from here? Where do we go from here? We have multiple options. We could choose to keep our heads in the sand and pretend that this entire semester never happened. That's one option. Just, hit reboot and just erase the last 4 months. That actually may be worthwhile. Coronavirus never happened. Anyways, or we could engage in some motivated reasoning. We can hold tighter to our prior attitudes, to what we originally thought about news media, what we originally thought about partisan media, all that stuff. Just hold tighter to that stuff. We could demand more from our news sources. We can demand more variety. We don't need, we don't need all the infotainment. We don't need news about Kim Kardashian. No more TMZ type stuff. Give us more news coverage, more news shows. We can demand for the news to be less biased. And we can also demand it be more transparent. So if you are doing a paid news spotlight for whatever entity, there should be something scrolling across the screen that says this is a paid advertisement by business X or business Y. We could also pay attention to our news sources as well as the information you consume. That was ultimately the goal of the current event analysis. Just really think about where do you go to get your news, as well as the type of information said sources are providing. And then, optimistically, I don't think we have any journalism majors this year. Last year, there were 4 journalism majors. But optimistically, you can be the source of news you want to consume, or basically support the ones you know that are already doing it. So that was the whole purpose of the tweet assignment. You can blog, you can tweet, you can Snapchat. I don't know how Quibi works, but whatever that Quibi stuff is, even though can you create stuff on Quibi? I don't think so. But you can do those weird TikTok dances that are in style and can point to various facts. Those are being used. So thanks to all the technology we have, we can consume and produce content in seconds and then transmit it all across the world. And so in previous iterations, I want to say, last year there was the New Zealand shooter incident. And we ended up talking about that at length because it was weird because he was streaming his atrocities in real time. And so it was like weird because like you could talk about it and you could see him commit, creating news as he was doing the awful stuff. But if you don't think you're about that journalist life, support the ones who do. Read read the transcript, for God's sakes. If you're interested in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or the Washington Post, pay the little subscription fee. It's nice. Print media is dying, and we also know internet news can be unreliable, and then people are continuing to consume solely partisan news media, only watching MSNBC and only watching Fox News. The remaining journalists and anchors are trying to fight the good fight here. And so like the only way like they know that they're fighting the good fight is if they have people that support them. And so like any other Netflix thing, if you enjoyed this class, you might like. So I teach other classes. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, so 111, Intro to American Politics, Political Inquiry, there's Public Opinion, Voters and Elections, Black Politics, Political Psychology. If you want more poli-sci classes, Nestor is doing Public Policy, Equality, and Politics. Kay is teaching his course on Foreign Policy. And I didn't have enough time to finish writing that out, but Professor Franklin's teaching their class on protesting this fall. And so, and with all of that, will it let me play the last one? It'd be nice if it did. Yay, the GIF works. So yeah, that's all I have for y'all. So Tuesday will be a review. Immediately after this class, I'll be working on editing 6 videos that I never got around to editing to put on YouTube. So that way it's all up there. If you have any questions, yeah, does anybody have any questions or anything? I'll share. No? Well, this section's always the shortest and the quickest. If you have any questions about anything, send me an email. I'm trying to see where did I put my syllabus.
Could you put in the Nancy Pelosi chocolate ice cream ad real quick?
I heard about that.
What? Did you put it in the link in the chat? There's an echo? I'm sorry, Max. I know now I'm thinking. Oh, because like I just saw them. I didn't realize there was an echo. Yo, if there are sound issues, tell a person. Now we're like at the end. It's like, if y'all would have said something, I would have tried to figure it out. What was this? I'm looking for the, what's it called it? The, why won't you exit? Okay, so where is this talking about like chocolate? What? Yes, I know the screen sharing stopped. Nancy Pelosi and chocolate? What is this?
Give me just a second.
In fact, it may just make better sense for me to allow you to just go on and share. Yep. There we go. So if you want to share your screen, you could do it instead.
Can we watch Brian Kemp?
That was the link you just sent me?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like he's so relevant in the news right now.
Well, yeah, because isn't Georgia opening up tomorrow? Exciting stuff.
He announced last week he wants to open up like all the businesses that would definitely spread the virus the easiest.
I told my grandmother and my younger brother they better not leave the house.
Yeah, I was talking to.
I just chocolate.
Okay.
I was talking to people yesterday who were like, "Danny, are you going to take advantage of all the new opening businesses?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
No, like you better wait and let that first wave of the coronavirus wash over. Don't leave until after Mother's Day.
Yeah. The Washington Post put out an article yesterday saying that if people actually like go outside, and they will because of Brian, Georgia is going to become the worst state for coronavirus.
Lordy, Lordy, have mercy. All right, so let's see. Let me share this. It's loading. Watch. Probably won't get there. Wait, hold on. All this share screen stuff.